all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning. You're listening to the Daily Morning Update from Bloomberg Quint, and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 21st of November. The meeting between the OPEC and its allies at the start of December just became that much more interesting. Crude oil futures crashed last night with the downside risk on oil at its highest in 4 years. The fear is that the OPEC will elect not to cut output. This decision would likely put even more pressure on the commodity. All of this has to be seen in the context of dampened demand and an expectation of a worsening in the trend after the onset of the trade war between the US and China. American equity markets slid again last night, led by energy majors. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq closed lower by 1.8 and 1.7% respectively, while the Dow declined by 2.2%. In Asia this morning, the three early risers have all begun the session under pressure, all with cuts of over 1%. The slide in cryptocurrencies has continued overnight. Bitcoin fell as much as 13% to $4,051, bringing this week's decline to more than 25%. It traded at almost $20,000 last December. In a significant development for Dr. Reddy's Labs, a US appeals court ruled in its favor and against Indivior plc, opening the door to begin sales of a generic version of the opioid treatment Suboxone film in the US. Bharti Airtel has agreed to 2- and 3-year bilateral loans with 10 to 12 lenders to raise $2 billion. This comes at a time when the company faces increased competition at home and the threat of a ratings downgrade to junk. The Reserve Bank of India's decision to defer the full implementation of the capital conservation buffer prescribed for banks under Basel III rules is expected to bring some relief to only a handful of state-owned banks, according to analysts. While government officials suggested that capital worth 37,000 crore rupees would be freed up, allowing for an additional 3.7 lakh crore rupees in potential lending, analysts are more circumspect on the costs and benefits of the decision. Read that entire story on the website bloombergquint.com. NTPC Limited is considering buying power plants run by indebted Ratan India Power and Jaiprakash Power Ventures. That's a Bloomberg story. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has allowed promoters to make a counter-offer to shareholders of companies that are planning to delist from stock exchanges, a move aimed at plugging loopholes in the current method. And in other news, job creation more than doubled to 9.73 lakh in September compared to 4.11 lakh in the same month last year, according to the Employees Provident Fund Organization payroll data that was released yesterday. This is the highest monthly addition since September 2017. Well, with that, it's now over to Darshan Mehta for the trade setup for the day in India. Good morning, Darshan. Quite weak cues coming in from both the US and Asian markets.
Hi Alex, good morning everyone, and we are bracing in for turbulent times. Global markets were extremely weak. The SGX Nifty is indicating a negative outlook. Crude crashed 6%, so the fall from the top has been close to 30%. Base metals on the LME were down anywhere between 1 to 2%. So global cues, both on the equity side and the commodity side, not the best at this point of time. But we are focusing on stocks, and Dewan Housing will report its numbers today. In terms of other stocks that you need to watch out for Dr. Reddy's. Indivior has loosed an appeal ruling for Suboxone against Dr. Reddy, which means that Dr. Reddy will be able to launch this drug. Remember, they sold close to $20 million of this drug in the first quarter, and the second quarter US estimates were severely missed because of the absence of the drug. Most of the brokerages have given this a thumbs up. Reliance Jio launches India's first Volte international roaming. Bank of Baroda has agreed to sell 4% stake in Clearing Corp of India to HDFC Bank at 620 per share, and they will get 124 crores because of this. And post the acquisition, HDFC Bank will increase its stake in CCIL from 5% to 9%. As far as the other stocks are concerned, Suzlon Energy completes sale of 2 arms to Canadian Solar. The total consideration is 54 crores. NBCC has submitted expression of interest for resolution plan of JP Infratech, and the company has been provisionally shortlisted by the resolution professional of JP Infratech as an applicant. And finally, as far as bulk deals are concerned, Fortis Healthcare will be in focus. UBS Asia has acquired 1 crore shares and York Asian Opportunity Fund was the seller in this deal. Vito switch gears, moves to the ASM framework. New stock in the F&O ban is Dewan Housing, and two brokerages. UBS has maintained a buy on ONGC with a target price of 240. They are saying ONGC stock took a beating due to soaring crude and it will reverse with the crude fall. OVL's first half profit was up 9.5 times on higher crude oil prices, so they're bullish on ONGC. And Bank of America Merrill Lynch is bullish on Jubilant FoodWorks. They have a target price of 1600. They say that the strong showing is likely to continue in the third quarter despite the challenging base and new product launches, and the third quarter SSSG will likely be in high teens. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab and you'll be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks, Darshan. Well, that's all we have for you in this podcast, but there's clearly lots to talk about, so do tune in to the website bloombergquint.com or to any one of our social media pages. We're live through the day. Thanks so much for listening. This is Alex Matthew signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.